Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for October of 2020. Your birthday is approaching and you're probably already starting to feel the old year's themes cycling out. The New Year's themes are going to start pressing forward really soon, and if you want to get a reading before your birthday, which is optimal, now would be the time to schedule it. You'll find a link for that down in the YouTube description below. Well, we have Mars retrograde this month, as we did last month. It usually takes a couple of months for that to be done. And then we've got a couple of moons that interact with Mars, and also Mercury is going retrograde too. But at least Venus always has nice things to say. Hey, Julia, what do you have to say to the Sagittarians of the world?
Well, hey, Sagittarius. So Mars is retrograde in your fifth house all month. And it's been in this house for a while, so you should also check out our August and September horoscopes to learn more about how this feels and what you can do about it. And we also made a video about how this Mars retrograde cycle is going to be affecting the world at large. And how it triggers the pandemic hot degree, which is in our 2020 news playlist. But basically, the fifth house is the house of children. It's also the house of fun and games. And when Mars is retrograde, it's a time of a lot of frustrations. So you could be very frustrated that you can't have the fun that you want to have right now. Maybe you want to play games or, go out and hit the town, but they're just circumstances that keep thwarting you. And if you have kids, then this can be a very frustrating cycle. You guys might be clashing heads more than usual. Since this is the house of games, if you play any games, you also might hit some very frustrating losing streaks too. Now, Venus, the planet of art and beauty, enters Virgo on October 2nd, which is your 10th house. And the 10th house is the house of authority figures. It's the house of career. And so if you do anything Venus-like in your career, let's say you use customer service, you're involved in design, you work with women, or in the beauty industry, then this can be a very fruitful cycle. It's also a great time for getting along with all the authority figures in your life, whether that's a boss or your teachers or your parents, whoever they might be. Then Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, goes retrograde in Scorpio on October 13th, which is your 12th house. Now, the 12th house it's known traditionally as the house of undoing, and Mercury is how we communicate. So be very, very careful. If you feel a little tempted to be a bit deceptive in your communications with other people, and that also includes errors and omission too, it might come back to bite you in the butt. So just try to be as kind of clear in your communications with others as you can.
Yeah, that's so important to do. Do you know, I had another thought about that Venus in the 10th house. It can be so helpful for people who have like a one-on-one practice of some kind, which could encompass things
Oh,
like
yeah, that would be
coaching,
very
being a
helpful.
therapist, being a lawyer, being an agent or representative
Yeah,
or
and to kind of
advocate
work
of
with
some
people in
kind, or
counseling.
mediation too. Yeah, counseling. So if that is your area of expertise, I think you really enjoy this Venus transit. So right away on October 1st, we have the full moon happening in Aries with Chiron here in that fifth house that Julia was talking about. And Julia, you mentioned things like, how frustrating it can be to try to have fun when Mars is retrograde in your fifth house, especially if the things that you do for fun are active. Now, another meaning for the fifth house is it's the house of love affairs. It's a house of short, exciting relationships. And so I think that Mars retrograde could could bring some frustrations in that regard. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
there's somebody you had just started to have a hot connection with, and you can't actually see them in person, and how
Oof.
frustrating that is. So this moon and Chiron here, I think, suggests that under the full moon, maybe those kind of connections and those kinds of entertainments, which is what the fifth house is about, could actually become something deeper, I think, this month. And Chiron brings in that theme of wounding and healing, so some emotions may come up that surge up from the past that you can actually heal at this time using this house's themes to do it. So then on the 16th, we have another moon, and that is a new moon in Libra. And it's right here in the 11th house, and I think I'm going to sneeze. Allergies, they're the worst. So it's falling in your 11th house, and this particular moon is pretty intense. You might remember that last month we showed you the new moon in Virgo, and we said that that new moon in Virgo could help you to cope with the lesson of the pandemic hot degree, which is absolutely true. But this month's new moon in Libra will intensify, exacerbate, and really bring additional challenges regarding the pandemic hot degree, which falls right over here in your second house of money. So you may have been experiencing lots of challenges, feeling powerless and helpless around money during the pandemic. This moon is going to bring up even more emotions about that, sad to say. And the presence of Mars will also, potentially bring up some anger and some impulsiveness. So you're going to have to really watch yourself. And you can find out more about it in our news video this month in the October news playlist. This moon, we've called it Dolores Umbridge, Saccharine Evil. And if you want to know what that means, you can check the video about it. At the end of the month, we have a second full moon inside the month happening right on Halloween. And so therefore it's a blue moon because it's the second full moon in a month. And we call this one Mostly Tricks, a Few Treats. It falls in your 6th house, and it involves Uranus conjuncting the moon. Now, a full moon does tend to bring high emotions, and sometimes it brings a sense of polarity or duality, and it can bring up themes in your relationships where you may feel like you take one pole, your partner takes the other pole, or the reverse. And this particular moon has very much a quality of the unsettled, of the rebellious, the reactive, and the stubborn. And that may show up for you in the arena of work, health, and service, and personal organization. You may feel like, oh my God, I just can't stand this anymore. I've got to break out, break down, break through. Well, try not to break anything during that moon. And just ride it out because it will pass. That's all that we have for you today, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and share and subscribe. We love to see you around our corner of the universe. And you will always find our horoscopes here on our YouTube channel and also on our website, pandoraastrology.com/horoscope. And you can find the news of the month here on our YouTube channel, but also on our website, pandoraastrology.com/monthly-forecast. And we'll see you next month and all around the cosmos like we do. Bye-bye.